Our top story this Monday morning, it is now day 10 of the partial federal government shutdown, and all signs point to it extending into the new year as both sides argue over funding for a border wall. On Sunday, President Trump's outgoing chief of staff, John Kelly, bluntly told the LA Times, quote, "To be honest, it's not a wall." And Republican Senator Lindsey Graham says the wall has become a metaphor for border security. Senator Jon Tester spoke on Face the Nation Sunday. He said President Trump had not been consistent in his funding request for the wall.
But what did happen this last year is the president asked for $1.6 billion in his budget proposal for this next year. The Appropriations Committee, which Senator Shelby chairs and Senator Leahy is a ranking member of, agreed to that in a bipartisan way. Senator Shelby voted for it. Senator McConnell voted for it. The president moved the goalposts and said, no, now I want $5 billion.
They've come down to. Also in this morning's headlines, an Oregon hotel is facing a lawsuit after an African-American guest was escorted off the premises by police last week. The Doubletree Hotel has apologized to Jermaine Massey, who was on the phone with his mother at the time. 2 employees have been fired. The Hilton Corporation, which owns the hotel, says it is reinforcing its diversity and inclusion training to ensure this does not happen again. A recent college grad was killed yesterday after being attacked by a lion at an animal conservation center in North Carolina. CBS's Tom Hansen has more on how this happened.
An intern helping to clean a lion enclosure at the Conservators Center in Burlington, North Carolina, was killed when the animal somehow escaped and attacked, according to the center. 22-year-old Alexandra Black had been working at the conservatory for just 10 days.
We are devastated today that we had an incident on our site that included the loss of life of one of the people who is working with our trained professional staff keepers. The incident occurred during a routine enclosure cleaning.
The sheriff's office says Mathai, seen here roaring on the center's YouTube page, quickly killed Black. Deputies tried several times unsuccessfully to sedate the lion. They eventually shot and killed him. In a statement, Black's family said the recent college grad died following her passion.
I can't imagine the loss they're enduring. I can't imagine what it must feel like to be them.
For now, the park, which houses more than 80 animals, including tigers and other big cats, is closed, while an investigation is underway to figure out how the lion escaped. Tom Hansen, CBS News, New York.
Black's family has asked mourners to honor her by donating to a wolf sanctuary where Black also once worked in her home state of Indiana. Now closer to home, in case you missed it over the weekend, the 14-year-old girl who was the subject of a missing and endangered person advisory was found deceased. Henny Scott's body was found Friday on the Northern Cheyenne Reservation near Lame Deer. Scott was found covered in snow in an area behind a house in the Muddy Creek area west of Lame Deer. She was a freshman at Lame Deer High School and would have turned 15 next month. Community members have organized a walk that will take place today at noon from the BIA parking lot to the Tribal Council chambers in support of Scott and other missing and murdered Indigenous women. In other news, as we near the end of the holidays, a lot of people are feeling down, and there is a reason for that. Nurse practitioner Marnie Basta-Smith says during the fall and winter months, people can often become depressed due to disappointment from the holidays and the lack of sun exposure. Common signs of this seasonal and holiday depression include feelings of hopelessness and isolation paired with sleep deprivation and weight fluctuation.
Kind of hits all ages, to be honest with you. Women, like with most things with mental health, women are affected more than men, but it definitely doesn't discriminate. We know that probably more than 20% of our population is affected by seasonal affective disorder, and that's not counting the people that already have some underlying depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, things like that. It's a very common thing for a lot of people, and it's important to reach out and get that help if you need it.
And staying on the topic of health, studies show most people who set fitness goals as New Year's resolutions don't stick to them. Experts say shifting your mindset might just be the key to success. CBS's Hillary Lane has more.
Helen Perzan has lost 20 pounds over the past year.
I come 5 or 6 days a week, so I'm really very motivated.
She says losing weight wasn't her priority. Her goal was to feel better and stay mobile. It's that time of year for making healthy resolutions.
If you want long-term behavior change, you really need to focus more on positive reinforcement.
Dr. Brandon Alderman studies exercise psychology at Rutgers University. He says Helen has the right idea. She likely had success shedding pounds because it wasn't her primary focus.
When your goals are tied into something that you really want to see, like weight loss, and you step on the scale after 2 weeks after January and you don't see a measurable amount of weight loss, you're not getting any sort of reinforcement.
He says that's also why so many people give up on their fitness resolutions after just a few weeks. To make resolutions that stick, be smart. Set smart, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based goals.
Set your goals in relation to an immediate benefit that you might gain. So I want to reduce my levels of stress. I want to sleep better. Those are immediate benefits that are tied to exercise.
Exercise should be considered a habit or just a part of the daily routine. At least 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week is recommended for most adults.
I get up in the morning, I put my gym clothes on and I head right out the door.
And like Helen, pick an activity you enjoy because you're more likely to keep doing it. Hillary Lane, CBS News, New Brunswick, New Jersey.
The benefits of regular exercise are big, from decreased risk of heart attacks, stroke, and chronic diseases, as well as lower rates of stress, anxiety, and depression. Experts suggest switching up your exercise routine frequently to prevent boredom and burnout. Before we take a break, mass shootings and natural disasters of historic proportions brought heartache and hardship to communities across the country in 2018. CBS's Nicole Killian takes a look back at the year's top national stories.
2018 marked the deadliest and costliest wildfire season on record in California. Fast-moving flames wiped out the Northern California town of Paradise, killing more than 80 people and destroying at least 18,000 structures. The Southeast took a pummeling from hurricanes. Florence barreled into the Carolinas, killing 20 people and leaving widespread flooding. Then Michael roared ashore just shy of a Category 5, flattening coastal communities in Florida's Panhandle. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano erupted, sending rivers of lava into neighborhoods. A country facing an increasing number of school shootings watched the deadliest mass shooting at a U.S. high school unfold on Valentine's Day at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. A former student killed 17.
We cannot keep America great if we cannot keep America safe.
Parkland survivors organized the March for Our Lives in Washington, D.C., advocating tighter gun control, and students across the country walked out of classes to urge lawmakers to take action. 10 were killed at Santa Fe High School in Texas, and a gunman stormed the Capital Gazette newsroom in Annapolis, Maryland, killing 5. Violence also found its way into the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
It's a very horrific crime scene. It's one of the worst that I've seen.
A gunman killed 11 people, the deadliest attack on a Jewish community in the U.S. Days later, a shooter opened fire at the Borderline Bar in Thousand Oaks, California. Sex abuse allegations rocked the Catholic Church, with at least 13 states launching new investigations. Pennsylvania officials released the names of more than 300 priests accused of sexual misconduct dating back decades. 17 passengers, including 9 from the same family, died when a duck boat sank on a Missouri lake.
When they pulled me up from the boat, I didn't see any of my family.
A limo carrying a wedding party crashed into a parked car in upstate New York, killing 20.
Please report to the lobby to receive direction to the basement.
Hawaiian residents panicked when a worker mistakenly sent out a false ballistic missile alert following threats by North Korea to attack the U.S.
See if I can make you a billionaire tonight.
And one very lucky ticket from South Carolina won the $1.5 billion Mega Millions jackpot, the second largest in world history. Nicole Killian, CBS News.